Hello, welcome to Michelle Loses It. I'm Michelle. On this channel, I am taking you along on my journey as I follow the Calibrate weight loss program. And I started a few weeks ago, and I'm taking you along week by week as I follow the program. If that sounds interesting to you, then please stay tuned. Okay, so let's just start by recapping what my current goals are. If you've been following along, then you know that basically every other week when I meet with my coach, I get a new goal for the next 2 weeks. And that goal builds on top of the previous goals. So I don't ever lose a goal. I just continue to gain new goals. And I'm building those habits slowly, week by week. So the current goals are, I'm still drinking 120 ounces of water per day. Check. I've been successful at that probably 90% of the time. I've had a couple of days this week where I didn't achieve that, but I still came pretty close with the 96 ounces. I am weighing daily. I am tracking my red foods, which honestly have been really good. So tracking my red foods means I haven't actually had any. I'm tracking my energy levels every day, and I'll get a little bit more into that after I talk about the medication. I'm following the Jumpstart food triangle. And if you watched last week, then you know the Jumpstart triangle is for 2 weeks. Some foods moved around between the different food colors. So some foods that were in the yellow, orange levels have jumped into the red food level. So there are some foods that when I'm not on the Jumpstart phase, I can have in moderation, but during the Jumpstart phase, I cannot have them at all. So I've been following the Jumpstart food challenge for a little over a week now. I'm filming on Sunday. I missed Friday. I just had a busy couple of days, so I'm catching up today. And my last goal was to have my phone off by 9:15 at night, have all the electronics turned off so that the blue light impact has time to kind of, reduce before I go to bed by 10. I was on Staycation last week, and so that goal I didn't meet, I don't think, at all. I was up late, but I did get my 8 hours of sleep in every night. I just got it in later at night, and I slept in a little bit in the morning since I wasn't getting up for work. So I don't feel bad about not meeting that goal. So for the week, I was on Staycation, and I was just chilling out. I just needed some chill time. And so some of you know because you followed me from my other channel, but I do have a sewing channel. It's called Michelle Sews Again. I'll link it below if you're interested, if you don't already know. But I basically spent the week doing craft stuff, sewing and dyeing some shoes and things like that. I did not do a lot of cooking this week. I've been eating really kind of basic this week. I did some air fryer chicken, some air fryer turkey burgers. I had, sides of veggies. I've been sticking to the program. I just haven't been cooking recipes. I've just been cooking basics. I did try one new dish, and that was in the Jumpstart challenge. There is a meal plan, which I had intended to follow. I just wasn't interested in doing these recipes all week, so I was doing all the basic stuff. But I did last night try this recipe. It was intended to be a fish recipe, but I don't eat any seafood, so I just swapped the fish out for chicken. And it was a sumac recipe, so you're using the sumac spice in addition to some other spices, mixing it with olive oil, and you make like a paste and you rub it onto the chicken. And I just threw it in the air fryer. The recipe calls for baking it in the oven, but the air fryer, I'm loving my air fryer. So I threw it in there. I served it with a side of steamed broccoli, and that was our meal for the night. The other 2 new recipes that I tried this week were both breakfast recipes. One was quinoa with blueberries. I'll be honest, I didn't love that one. Quinoa is fine. I don't have a problem with it, but blueberries are not my favorite. And so maybe I'll try it with a different fruit next time, but I just wasn't overwhelmed with that recipe, so it's unlikely that I will repeat that one. And quite frankly, I don't usually eat breakfast because I'm usually doing the intermittent fasting, so I have my first meal at 11, which is usually a lunch. I just thought I would try a couple of breakfast recipes this week, and that one just didn't do it for me. The other one that I tried was a banana chia smoothie, and that one was really tasty. It's just I used the ingredients and the quantities that the recipe called for, and the smoothie was just really, really thick. So I think if I make it again, I will add more almond milk than is called for in the recipe, but otherwise that one was tasty. And I couldn't even finish it, so that filled me up for quite a while. So that one was a win. I did almost make a mistake earlier in the week. I actually made a second new recipe earlier in the week, and it was Greek chicken in the slow cooker. And basically it was just red peppers, garlic, Kalamata olives, onions, and then the chicken with some spices. And I served that, I made couscous to serve next to it because I thought couscous was a grain. Luckily, I looked that up before I actually ate any. I'm just ignorant because I don't eat that kind of stuff usually, but I discovered that couscous is actually made out of semolina flour. So that's definitely off limits for me. So luckily I didn't eat it. My husband ate all the couscous, but the Greek chicken was really good, and we served it with a side of like a cucumber tomato salad, which is my new favorite. So that actually turned out okay. But I'm glad that I did the research before I ate the couscous. I was just double checking myself, because I would have been very disappointed if I had that one meal that wasn't on plan, because I didn't do the research. So always do your research, and preferably before you cook. But luckily I had somebody to eat it up, so it was okay. On Wednesday of this past week, my prescription finally arrived. So last week I mentioned that I had gotten approved for it, and I found out on Thursday or Friday that I would be getting it soon, and it did ship over the weekend or early in the week, and I received it late Wednesday. And I did watch a YouTube video on how to administer it because it does come with instructions, but I'm a visual learner. So WEGOVY does have a YouTube channel, or at least YouTube instructions for this. So I was able to go and find how to use it. And let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the box that it comes in. And my first month, my dosage is going to be a 0.25 milligram dose. There are 4 single dose pens in the box. You can see one's missing because I used it when it came in. And you only use it once a week. So I didn't realize that until I got the box. And so it comes with all the literature. You have to keep this in the refrigerator. It comes in a big box compared to the box that you end up with. It comes in a pretty big box that's completely full of dry ice, and it keeps it chilled, and then you put it in the refrigerator when you get it. And I did my first dose late Wednesday night after watching the YouTube video, and I can tell you that it is virtually painless. Like, yes, I felt the prick, but it was like not painful at all. And it's super quick, it's super easy, especially if you follow the video. You just have to, you can do it in your upper thighs, your lower abdomen, or if you do it in your arm, they recommend that you get somebody to help you because the base of the pen needs to be flush with the skin. And I think that's probably hard to do when you're doing your own arm. But yeah, it's pretty simple. So not anything to be scared of. I was actually a little bit nervous about it being an injectable, but it's nothing. It's literally nothing. And the dosage goes up every month. So I have the 0.25 for my first month. I forget what the increments are. I'm pretty sure next month is a 0.5. Then I think it goes to a 0.75 and a 1. It goes up every month for, I think, 5 months. And the goal is that you're only on the medication for the first 6 months of the program. And the goal and the reason for that is that the medication slows down the digestive process so that the food is in your, system longer, and it keeps you full longer. And that is supposed to be, when you're combining it with all these behavior changes, it's supposed to help you be able to stick to making the behavior changes so that by the time that you're finished with the medication, your behavior changes are actually really kind of grabbing onto you and or having impact or becoming more permanent. And so I'm really hopeful. It also helps to relieve your appetite. There are side effects with the medication. I have really, the only one that I've experienced so far is I've been a little bit lethargic in the morning. Not anything to worry about. And maybe a little, the first day I had a little bit of an issue with being nauseous, but that kind of went away pretty quickly. I mean, less than half an hour. And I haven't really experienced that again. So I have been lucky. I haven't had a lot of side effects. You have to make that decision for yourself. And they do a pretty thorough screening of your health, your current health, your health background, your familial health, what kind of issues there might be. And they take all of that into consideration before determining which medication to prescribe to you. So I guess based on all of my medical history and family history, that WEGOVY was the right one for me. So I started it Wednesday night, and I will take it once a week on Wednesdays, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. So let me share a little bit with you. So I have not shared a whole lot of numbers with you yet. I did in my second week share with you what my starting weight is or was. And so I'm thinking that once a month, what I'll do is share with you my progress. And just to put things in context, I've mentioned before, this is not a program for anybody who's looking for a quick weight loss. This is not, if you have a class reunion that you're trying to get in shape for, or anything that has like a deadline, this is not going to be the program for you, because this is about building positive behavioral habits. And it's really slow, and it's taking it one habit at a time, and you're working on one habit for 2 weeks before you get the next habit. So it is a very slow process. I would not have been okay with that a few years ago, because I was always like, I need to lose it fast so that I get some momentum. I think I'm finally, I don't know if it's my age or how long I've been overweight or how many different methods I've tried. I don't know what it is, but this time I was like, I just want it to work. So I just want to take it slow. I don't have a deadline in mind. There's always something that I wish I looked better for, or that I wish I had more energy for. But that's always going to be there. So let me just do this the right way this time. And for me, this is the right way, at least so far. The right way is going to be different for everybody. I am in no way saying that any of those other programs aren't right for somebody. They just weren't right for me. So let me share with you what my progress is so far. So like I said, my starting weight was 243. The first month, I didn't lose anything. I was up and down like every other day. Like I would swing half a pound up, half a pound down. And I pretty much stayed pretty stagnant that first month. And that was the month of April. The month of May, I started seeing some progress, and it was going down a little bit at a time. And so here we are at the beginning of June. And so I lost 8 pounds in the month of May, which I'm pretty happy with. Now, also, to put it in context, Calibrate really only guarantees a 10% drop in body weight over the course of the year. So for me, in total, that would be 24 pounds. So I believe that I'm going to do better than that. I think their average for their initial test subjects was 15%, which is better than the 10. But I think that over the long haul, instilling these positive habits are just going to be, it's just going to move me forward, continue until I reach my goal. So I am down to 235. I'm down 8 pounds. My goal weight is around 160. I will reassess that as I get closer. I have been 160 a few times, and I've been different sizes every time I get to 160. And that's because I got there different ways. So I think I mentioned before, I did MetaFast at one point, and I didn't do any other behavior changes with that, and I lost a good amount of weight, and I got down to about 160 pounds, and I was still very fleshy. So I was, you know, I was 160. I felt good because I had been a lot bigger for a long time, but then I gained most of that weight back, and then I lost weight again. And I did that through a combination of eating less and working out. And when I got to 160, when working out was part of my change, the composition of my body was so completely different. I was 2 sizes smaller at 160 when I was working out than I was at 160 when it was all just from MetaFast. So I will, I know that exercise is part of this program. It hasn't been introduced yet. So I think that I will continue to reassess what my goal weight is, because it's not as much about weight as it is about how I feel and about, you know, the clothes that I'm fitting into. I am, like I said, by no means trying to become skinny. I just want to be healthy and fit and be able to live my life and live the lifestyle that I can take advantage of the lifestyle here in South Florida. So yeah, we'll see what my goal weight is when I get closer to it. But that's where I am for this week. So I've made some, you know, I've just continued on the Jumpstart Challenge this week. I tried a couple of new recipes. I chilled out this week, and I had a decent week. So my new lesson for this week was to look at cravings and how to combat cravings. And it's really about stopping once you get one and recognizing it and trying to distract yourself. So like I said, I like to sew. That's my hobby. So when I get a craving, I try and divert myself to sewing, to some aspect, prepping or something, or to a different hobby. But distraction is the key. So anyway, if you are following along because you're also on a weight loss journey, then let's get healthy together, and I will see you next time. Bye.